Imagine you were on a boat in the middle of the ocean. How would you know which way you were headed? For centuries, seafarers have relied on the stars, familiar currents, magnets, and measurements to navigate. Now, we commonly rely on the system of latitude and longitude, supported by GPS. This helps us orient ourselves in the world. But without the help of real-world landmarks or a system of satellites, how can we get the sense that we occupy a specific place in our virtual world? It's all down to virtual camera projection. Let's explore. This is ASU. Virtual camera systems tell your game engine what parts of the 3D scene to render to your screen or to your headset. When you take a picture with a digital camera, it captures the visual data within its field of view. The real world gets projected onto a two-dimensional photo or video and captures the photo as pixels in a grid. As the camera lens is moved around, it captures different things in its field of view. Different objects, different backgrounds, scenes from different positions and different angles. Objects that are farther away look smaller, objects up close look larger. This is called perspective. Similarly, virtual cameras have a position and rotation in 3D space, as well as a field of view. This creates a pyramid-like shape called a frustum. Everything inside of the frustum gets rendered into an image to be displayed on a screen or headset. Things that are out of view are not rendered. In addition to the pointing of the camera, there are also two clipping planes that determine how close or far the camera can see. These are called the far clipping plane and the near clipping plane. Any objects that are farther than the far clipping plane are considered to be too far from the camera to be worth rendering. To save computational resources, the game engine will just decide not to render objects that are farther than the far clipping plane. Objects closer than the near clipping plane are also not rendered because they may be too close to the camera and cause heavy discomfort, especially in VR. The clipping planes, along with the position, the rotation, and the field of view of the camera, determine the frustum that describes the camera's perspective. In most game engines, you'll be able to see the frustum to see what the virtual camera will capture in the virtual scene. Everything inside of the frustum will be rendered by the graphics processing unit as the foreground. This GPU will apply all of the right materials and all of the right lighting to make your virtual scene look the way it's supposed to look, on its way to becoming screen pixels for your displays. The background for the camera is usually filled in with a skybox, a flat image that wraps around the user at all angles. Just like a physical landscape fills in the backdrop for physical cameras, a virtual landscape of skies, buildings, mountains, or other faraway objects can serve as a skybox for the virtual cameras. By updating what the virtual camera sees, and by compositing the foreground and the background in real time, the virtual camera projection creates the illusion that users are moving around in 3D space, whether on desktop, in augmented reality, or in virtual reality. Like sailors looking out at the horizon and catching sight of a spit of land that slowly comes into focus as the ship approaches shore, the virtual camera looks onto a virtual world, and with the help of the skybox, perspective, and clipping planes, can replicate that sense of moving towards the edge of your sightline and seeing something out in the apparent distance come slowly into focus. But instead of standing on the deck of a ship, you can be standing in your living room. This was ASU. Thanks for watching.